desperate and doomed quest for the final fuel source. So the uh, the the narcissist is always basically looking for their next target to be the final fuel source. And so they have every intention of, especially if it's a romantic relationship, you're the one, you're the only one, you're my twin soul flame, etc. And that's the narcissism speaking to be, and so by just it's important to know what they mean by love. Love is not that to a narcissist, not total connection and full spectrum emotional exchange. It is I appreciate, uh, I have affinity towards what you give me, which is as I gain more control over you, I feel more stability in my life and feel more important as a person. So that's their relationship to other people, right? That's what they're looking for constantly. And in an emotional in a romantic relationship, they're thinking that, okay, this person finally, when I gain control over them, I will feel a final stability. I will feel enough importance. Well, I'll finally accept myself. Enough stability where I feel secure. And it never happens. And this is why it's doomed. And this is why it's desperate. Because you can never, um, until you're fully like self confident, you can never feel confident through control over another person until you're fully self assured, no matter how important somebody sees you or a important partner sees you. Um, you're never quite feel validated enough. So no other person can complete you, and especially in the sense of if your needs perspective is distorted, nobody can fulfill that. Because that is a fear driven, parasitic disposition from the beginning, and it's inherently unsatisfiable, just as no a vampire victim can be the final. It's a constant hunt. No, like a leech will never be able to suck enough blood, um, et cetera, et cetera. Go down your list of parasites. The presupposition, the inherent disposition that a narcissist has and is identified with is inherently unsustainable. A normative person um, does have empathy for other people. So they'll walk a balance between narcissistic and empathetic dispositions. It's a balance of self-interest and mutual interest and interest for the other person. That is the way to get full spectrum exchanges as opposed to limited spectrum exchanges. So, um, you're not exploiting other people from a normative perspective. You're not exploiting other people to the point where you're disconnected from them. You're not exploiting them to the point where you have to feel ashamed or repress any kind of shame of hurting that other person in order to feel important or in order to feel under control. That's what the narcissist does. Um, you are getting growth through mutual exchanges of power, right? So it's like, think of it like a workout buddy where they're spotting you, they're giving you tips, and vice versa. You're spotting them, you're giving you tips, you're working together and using combined strength in that disposition. Whereas a narcissistic energy exchange in a relationship is like a slave driver, where they spend energy cracking the whip and they expect you to pull the sled, and that is the energy exchange. You're not really getting stronger being the slave master, and so you're not growing, and so you're not satisfied. And that's the inherent catch 22. That's why the narcissistic disposition is dysfunctional. Humans need to grow. If you're obsessed with control and being lazy, that's what the slave driver is, the whip cracker is. You're not growing, and so you're inherently unsatisfied. You're inherently unsustainable. No amount of slaves under your whip can ever satisfy that inherent need for growth. So, um, but the narcissist will think, well, maybe the next slave, maybe if the slave is more powerful or I'm more under control, then I'll finally be happy. Um, it's important to see this dynamic and this disposition, and to recognize who you're dealing with, and to recognize a large portion of the world is like this, maybe 20% of the world. So, and evenly divided between men and women. And thanks for listening. Take care.